It was Saturday morning, and I woke up with a big smile. I opened the window and took a deep breath. The air smelled fresh. I could hear the birds singing. It was a little cloudy, but that was okay. Today was a special day. My best friend Sarah and I had planned a picnic. We talked about it all week. We were going to the big city park, and we were both very excited. I packed my picnic bag carefully. First, I made 2 cheese and tomato sandwiches. Then, I added a red apple, a banana, a small bottle of water, and 2 chocolate cookies. I also packed a book, a small towel, and a soft blanket. Before I left, I looked outside again. The sky looked darker now. I said. Maybe it will rain today. But I didn't want to cancel. I put on my hoodie, grabbed an umbrella, and started walking to the park. The streets were quiet. Only a few people were outside. I walked past the bakery and smelled fresh bread. I smiled. It felt like a perfect slow morning. But after just 10 minutes, I felt something on my arm, drip. Then another, drop. Then, drip drop drip. The rain had started. I stopped and opened my umbrella. "Oh no," I said. "Not now." My phone buzzed. It was Sarah. "It's raining," she texted. "I know." I replied. "Should we still go?" she asked. "Yes. Let's be brave," I replied with a laughing emoji. So I walked through the rain. The sound of the drops on my umbrella was soft and steady. The world around me looked wet and shiny. The trees moved gently with the wind. It wasn't stormy. Just rainy. When I reached the park, I saw Sarah standing under a small gazebo. She was wearing a bright yellow raincoat and holding a big thermos. "I brought hot chocolate," she said with a big smile. "You're amazing," I said. We laughed and hugged. Then we sat on the wooden bench inside the gazebo. The roof kept us dry. "Not the picnic we planned," I said. "Nope," she said. "But maybe it's even better." We laid the blanket on the bench and put our food in the middle. We shared everything. My sandwiches and fruit, her chips and cookies, and of course, her hot chocolate. It was cozy. The rain made a soft sound, pitter-patter, on the roof. It was like nature's music. We watched the rain fall on the grass. It made tiny circles in the puddles. The trees swayed. A little dog ran past in a raincoat. We both giggled. Sarah opened her backpack. "I brought cards." "Yay!" I said. "Let's play Go Fish." We played 3 games. I lost all of them. But I didn't mind. We talked about school, books, funny things that happened this week. I told her how I accidentally wore mismatched shoes on Tuesday. She laughed so hard she almost dropped her cookie. After a while, the rain slowed down. The sound got softer. Then it stopped completely. The sky was still cloudy, but there was a soft light coming through. "Let's take a walk," I said. "Let's go barefoot," she said. "Are you serious?" "Yes. It's fun." So we took off our shoes and stepped onto the wet grass. It was cold and squishy. We walked slowly, laughing at how the ground felt between our toes. It was like walking on pudding. We passed the rose garden. The flowers looked so fresh after the rain. Their petals sparkled with tiny drops. "Look at that one," Sarah said, pointing at a yellow rose. "It's beautiful," I said. Then, we reached the little wooden bridge near the lake. We leaned on the railing and looked at the water. Everything was calm. Suddenly, the clouds parted just a little, and there it was. A rainbow! I shouted. Sarah turned quickly. "Wow!" The rainbow arched across the sky. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. All the colors were there. We stood silently for a moment. Then Sarah whispered, "This is magic." I nodded. "It really is." We stayed a little longer, watching the rainbow fade slowly into the sky. Then we sat on a dry bench and let the sun warm our faces. "I'm glad we didn't cancel," I said. "Me too," Sarah said. "Sometimes, rainy days can turn into the best memories." "Yes," she said. "Especially when you have cookies and a friend." We laughed again. Then, we packed up our things, put on our shoes, and walked home. When I got home, I changed into dry clothes and made some tea. I sat by the window and watched the clouds move slowly. I felt peaceful. I thought about the rain, the hot chocolate, the barefoot walk, the rainbow, and my best friend. It wasn't a perfect picnic. But it was a perfect day. Sometimes, the most beautiful things happen when we don't expect them. Vocabulary. Picnic, a meal eaten outside, usually in a park or garden. Umbrella, something you hold over your head to stay dry in the rain. Gazebo, a small open building in a park where people can sit. Hoodie, a warm shirt or jacket with a hood. Puddle, a small pool of water on the ground after rain. Thermos, a bottle that keeps drinks hot or cold. Pitter-patter, a soft tapping sound, like light rain. Squishy, soft and wet, easy to press down. Barefoot, with no shoes or socks on. Sparkle, to shine with small flashes of light. Sway, to move gently back and forth. Rainbow, a curved band of colors that appears in the sky after rain. Giggle, to laugh in a quiet, silly way. Mismatched, not matching, two things that don't go together. Brave, not afraid to do something difficult or risky. Enjoyed this story? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for more relaxing English stories. New beginner-friendly stories every week to help you improve vocabulary and listening skills. Tell us in the comments, have you ever had a rainy picnic? What happened? Thanks for watching and happy learning.